Here with Coach Sean, SK Show week number 2, sort of. That's season week, but second week talking to you for the 2023 season. And Coach, take me back to last week. First few practices. I know we've talked before about getting that sort of rust knocked off from the summer and all that, but recap for me if you can how that first week of practice went with everybody.
It was a great week. Physically, they were ready to go. Like you said, that we didn't need to knock the rust off a little bit from a ball control standpoint, but that's to be expected. But I thought it showed that they did a lot of work in the gym, not only in the weight room over the summer. So, pretty much everyone came in, and after that first day, were a couple drills to be able to kind of push and make things a little bit more specific from a skill standpoint. We were ready to go. So we got into playing a whole lot earlier than we ever have, and the level was there. So that was good. I'm really happy with last week. They seemed to be meshing well. No matter how we mixed up the teams, it was competitive all the time. I think only one time that we played, one team ran away with it, and then that team followed it right back up and won the next one. So that's what you want to see.
It has to help too to have so many people back, not even just the starters, but so many players back from last year that have been around. They kind of know what your expectations are, to sort of help that along a little bit too.
It does. There's no way around that. I kind of have a philosophy of, if I don't say it this year, then you haven't heard it. And that's just the idea of that being that I don't make assumptions that somebody knows exactly what I want or am saying until we have actually had that conversation. So that does mean that when we're going through camp, that slows things down a little bit, because I'm going to go through and describe what our defense is, what this system is, what we do here, just so we know it's been said. There is no miscommunication, or I feel like you know what I'm talking about, but when I ask you, it's completely different. But all those conversations went way quicker because we had so much returning. And the freshmen were really good about assimilating in and just jumping in and going, asking questions as we went along, but really just seeing it being executed the way we want, and then just being able to get in there and get on the same page.
Yeah, you mentioned the freshmen, you mentioned everybody seems to be gelling it really well. How has the introduction of Teresa, Tessa, the freshmen, how have they kind of found their way this past week from your perspective?
We were lucky to have Teresa in the spring, so that obviously helps. Right. But there's still a learning curve for her as well, because we can't cover everything, in a couple months. Tessa jumped in right away, and it seemed like she was always part of the team, which that's good. And then a lot of that has to do with just being here over the summer. But there was never a time to where it felt like she was new and did not know what was going on. And even though that there were those moments with the freshmen, they went out there, they played hard, they competed, and we said this, just go out there and be good volleyball players, and compete and work hard, and we will start to make little adjustments as we go. Don't worry about not doing it our way, because we can always just change that. And the hope is that when they're on the court with the other teammates, it all starts to make sense, and they can have little cues from whoever's next to them, whether that's in the backcourt or up at the net.
First little glimpse of that will come this weekend, exhibition against Louisiana Tech. You've had a pretty good run with exhibition matches the past few years, but it's really still about seeing what we have, seeing where we're at, and all those sorts of things before that first official match on 2 weeks from now.
Yes, so looking forward to just play, always good. This is also going to give us, so I guess depends on how you look at it, it's going to give one team a good look at the other, because we do play each other later on in the year. So obviously someone's going to go in there and win Sunday, but it's going to give that other team, okay, this is what we got to work on to be able to make a correction into the second one. But I find that from a coaching standpoint, I like that. So whether that is, okay, this is what we have to do to now get a win, or this is what we have to do to either show that team, La Tech, something different so that they can't just adjust to what we did Sunday. But, I mean, I will say that this is my 9th year. This is going to be the first year where we have as much depth across many positions that we've ever had. We expected to have that going from 2019 into 2020. COVID came in and messed all that up. But that was going to be the first year, again, where we were going to have depth at many positions. In the years past, we have had, a depth in one position or another, but not across the board. So that's exciting. And then it's the battle from my standpoint of, okay, do we pick, a starting group and just try to get them as comfortable as possible together? Or do we go and use Sunday to completely experiment with a bunch of different scenarios so that during the season, when inevitably those situations are going to come up, whether it's a matchup issue or it's an injury or whatever it may be, and something different has to be put on the floor, hopefully that won't be the first time that group is playing with each other, and getting them some real world experience against somebody else in La Tech on Sunday.
All right, Coach. Well, thanks so much for your time, and we'll be talking real matches real soon. Next
Right
week.
around the corner.
Thanks a lot, Coach.
Thanks.